if you want to raise millions of dollars so you can buy real estate using other people's money, creating a private equity fund is one of the best ways to do it, even to buy businesses. So we were working on a campaign with somebody who wanted to raise $10 million for 2 multifamily developments. And we had several accounts going, selling people onto the deal. And we noticed that he had a few problems raising the money and getting the interest, and there were a lot of investors that weren't responding. So we actually fixed the problem, and as soon as we fixed it, we managed to get the bookings flowing again. So the way that we fixed it is basically in 3 parts, and you want to make sure you stick to the end so that you can see how it all makes sense and fits into the context of what you're doing. But basically, it's really simple, right? The first step is he really took the lead with the messaging at first, and he was asking for too many things in one outreach. So we had the cold callers and we had the appointment setters on his accounts. They were saying, okay, I want you to join this webinar. So basically he was asking the investor to join a webinar. He was asking the investor to visit the site, and he was asking the investor to check the website and then book a call. So he was asking the investor to do 4 different things. So what happened is, because he was asking the investor to do so much, nobody replied, because people's brains just, honestly, especially these days, people's brains just can't process anything that's complicated or anything. So you just have to really dumb everything down, keep it simple, or else you'll lose people. So what he ended up doing, he just focused on making sure that, we worked with him, and I personally had to work with him and get everything cleaned up. We just had one call to action. We just said, book a call, and then we just removed everything else. And when we did that, it got a bit better, but then there were still some other problems. But we got people at least responding to him and saying, no, I don't want to book a call. So that was the first step. The second thing that we did, and then this is the part where it started working, is we ended up simplifying and shortening the information, because there was a lot of sales pressure, because we said, oh, I want to show you how you can. So the original was like, I want to show you how you can invest better, and there was just like a lot of writing. It was long text. But we had people outbound dialing, outbound emailing, outbound sending messages on LinkedIn, and we noticed that when we removed all the long sentences and we just kept it in like 5 words, kept it in 7 words around that point, it really just simplified everything. And so we started to get people actually booking calls because they weren't overwhelmed and their brains could understand it. And this is something even like I have to keep on reminding myself too. But basically we have to dumb things down, keep it simple, and we always forget. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is we have to make sure that we have enough volume. So now that we got the calls booked, the accounts that we were sending out the messages, we actually lost those accounts, because sometimes we have to get people that we borrow accounts from, and we rent out thousands of different accounts on emails and LinkedIn's and everything. So we had to make sure we could supply enough volume. So that was the last bottleneck. So then we had the messaging working, so everything was working. So now we had to get more volume and quantity. Because if you find something that works, you just want to do more of it. So that was the last thing, and then that was a pretty easy fix. We just had to supply more accounts. And then now he's on track to get subscribed. It looks like it could be by November. At the time of the recording, this is in August. So those were the 3 core things that we did to actually get the campaign going in the right direction. And it was kind of exciting seeing the fact that, he was disappointed at first, but then initially we had to just do some diagnosis and fix it. And then the last, bonus part is you want to make sure that you are rampant with your tracking and documentation. And this is something everyone, like I'm working on my own internal reporting for Raises.com, and everybody's working on it. But basically, you want to make sure you track everything properly. And then you just harass people to track things, because whenever things go south, it's because things are not tracked. So track the amount of outreaches done, track the amount of calls that are booked, track the amount of replies that you get, track the second calls that are happening. You have to track everything in meticulous detail. And because some people, they struggle with looking at the numbers, but you can always look at a graph and you can make it visual, because human beings are just struggle with understanding numbers. So graphs are good, but you need the numbers to do the graphs. And obviously you can get a teammate to do this for you, or some overseas clerk or something to do this for you. But with this, that's pretty much it. Just make sure you have one call to action, ask investors for one thing. And before they know you, you're asking them only to book a call, nothing else. Just ask them to book a call. And then after you get them to book a call, make sure that the way that you're doing it is very simple and clear. And then when it works, and if you get the messaging right so that they're actually booking calls to potentially invest in your fund, then you want to make sure that you're doing it at volume and at scale. You do as much of it as possible by either getting more people to do it for you in a way that is profitable, or you get the people that are doing it to do more of the messaging. Like, it's pretty simple, but that's what most people don't do. So if you do those things, then that's how it works. But with this, if this is something that you'd like to create, if you want to raise money to buy real estate and you want to get into that type of business, make sure you head to raises.com, and we'll see you in the next one.